Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? How everybody feeling today? Today, I would like to talk about the Marriage Bootcamp episode 6 in 2020. You know, with Corrupt and everybody and his wife, I kind of seen something that was not okay in the relationship. You know, with Vado and Tahiry, that was not okay at all. Like they started out playing this game with like a shocker bracelet on them. They already was going through a little bit of stuff anyways from the get go. Like you can tell Vado was like trying to be more controlling, like telling her she don't listen, she don't do that. If you yell, that's getting out of hand. If you do this, that's getting out of hand. So I'm sitting up here looking at it like, why would he say stuff like you getting out of hand? That first off, that's kind of textbook like words to say to somebody you getting out of hand like she's a kid, like you don't talk to your wife like that, period. Or your significant other. It don't even have to be your wife. You don't talk to your lady like that, period. That's what I'm looking at. Like, this man here is tripping. So they start playing a little bracelet game or whatever. Everybody else is having fun, just doing their own little thing and making sense of it. Like the object of the game was to be able to get along with your significant other, make them laugh, not make them want to hit you. Because the shocker is like that. It's saying I'm gonna hit you. So as soon as they sit down, Vado was talking to Tahiry like, oh, so they just regular conversation. Next thing you know, they start yelling at each other. Like she got up, started yelling. He's shocked her. She was like, stop doing this. She was like, don't shock me no more. Like as they kept going on, and she was like, some like got mad at him and said, you ain't like listening to what I'm saying. Stop shocking me. Like they were just cussing. It was just so extreme. Like, yeah, it was the agony of that conversation just went all the way left. And it was just a regular conversation. She shocked him again. Bam. I mean, he shocked her again. Bam. And then just kept shocking him. Bam. Like, I was like, damn. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, if the shocker mean to hit you, he's literally trying to say that is he really like that behind doors? That's what I want to like figure out. But it made her so mad that later on they went in the house and there was some apples on the table. It was some Granny Smith green apples, which is, I ain't gonna lie to you, my favorite apple. It was some Granny Smith green apples on the table. Tahiry picked up 2 of them apples and was like, the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. She said, this is part of the game. This is part of the game. She had the apples up like this and stuff. She just said, wow, wow. Like hit him right here and then hit him in the face with his glasses kind of went down a little bit. I said, whoa. Like, was he like egging her on to do that? Are they used to? I want to know, are they used to doing stuff like this? Like, what is wrong with people in being in an abusive relationship? This goes back to the same thing with Paul and Kareem. Well, let me not skip out what I really want to say. So later on, they had a little sit down with the doctor guy, and as they were sitting down, she said, she went on words of saying like, you ain't nothing. You treat me like I can't talk or something. Like you lucky. That's all I did. That's all I did. He said, he just snapped. He said, what, Mom? He said, no. She said, everybody in here looks at me like I'm an aggressor or something like that. Upon those lines, he just looked at her and said, what? Like he snapped within a split second. He just hopped up, like they were just sitting next to each other. He just hopped up and grabbed her by her neck and was, you lucky. He said, you hit me with that apple, that effing apple. You lucky I didn't. You lucky these cameras rolling and we here, because he was just tripping. Like, I'm like, bro, did this man just really say you lucky these cameras is rolling? You lucky that we on television? You lucky we here at this house? Because if we went here at this house, basically what he trying to say is, if we wasn't here at this house, I was gonna really hurt you. And what is the definition of him trying to hurt her? Oh, you already choked her. You know what I'm saying? She throwing apples at him. 2 pods don't mix in 2 peas don't mix in the pot. So they is really textbook to each other abusive. That's my understanding. Like, Are they really fighting each other at home like that? Like, I want to know the shit. They even stay together? Do they need counseling? Do they need to get literally mental help? Because I don't think that relationship is gonna last the way he got up and just full on choked her like he choked her like she was a man or something. Like, nah, man, he want to get a guy in check or something. He ain't got that money. He just, they better have more money. Or they kidnapped the guy or whatever, excuse me. But they took a guy or whatever. And you know how they do in the movies, in the little ransom movies, they grab a guy and choke him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he treated her like that. Like, he needed the ransom money today. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not understanding that. Like, at that point, I was like, man, why she didn't get up and run? Like, she smiled. She smiled. No, and then the whole thing is this. Nobody got up. Nobody, none of the cast. William didn't get up. His wife didn't get up. Corrupt didn't get up. His wife didn't get up. You know what I'm saying? None of them got up. Like, none of them got up. And so I'm looking like, what in the living on earth is going on in here? Like, y'all gonna sit up here and let this man just do that to this woman and not get up yet? And the whole thing that bothers me is, why did they stop her from throwing that apple? If they seen her aggressively having them apples in there, somebody should have walked up to her. Hey, look, because Corrupt, he was telling William, go talk to your woman. Why didn't he intervene and tell them, y'all, don't do this because the doctor said? Why didn't he intervene at that time and say something? But they like let that stuff go on between them two. Like, that's a married couple. Yeah. And it was like this. It's like Hazel and them just stood back and was like shocked. Like, why don't y'all go stop these people from fighting? You know what I'm saying? Why don't people just talk to the other person while another man go over there and talk to her? It's so many women in the house, so many men in the house. Why can't they go up to Vado or either Tahiry and tell them, like, hey man, look, let's go to another room. Y'all need some time to away from each other for a minute. Because to me, it honestly seems like they spend way too much time with each other, and it's the wrong time that they giving each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're beating on each other physically, like not with words. They violently just beating each other. Like, so this what makes me ponder. Are they doing this outside, in the house, everywhere, in the car, choking each other, slapping each? Because she seemed to me, Tahiry was laughing after the doctor pulled Vado off of her. And when I seen her laughing, I said, textbook, she likes this. She's antagonizing this man to keep doing that, because they ain't here. They really here to try to fix their marriage. But is they really fixing their marriage? Because it seems like they ain't learning nothing. They ain't learning that. And they really need marriage boot camp. They need more than marriage boot camp. They need counselor, church, a priest, a Catholic priest. They need God, Jesus. Man, they need everything good, you know what I'm saying, to save their marriage, because they're not going to last long. To me, that's my honest opinion. I'm going to start letting up callers in 2 minutes from now to see what y'all got to say about this. But all I'm saying is this. It's the same thing that's happening. Almost similarities, but not too much similarity. We don't know what's going on with Paul and Karini. Like, in the report, I seen the police report. Somebody sent me on Instagram about the police report. Karini was saying that Paul was grabbing her and telling her to stay in the house, telling her to get drunk. That's textbook abusive stuff. Like, anything you trying to do to force another woman to not do it, or you forcing another man, like not another, but your man or your significant other to do something, anytime you force it, it's called textbook abuse. Like, it's a sign of abusiveness. You abusing your person, you abusing the person. So if you really say you love this person, how can you love that person and you can do that to the person that you say you love? Don't you supposed to do that to people that you don't care for? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna start letting up callers. I want to see what y'all got to say about this, because it's some fishy stuff going on lately, and this ain't it's not a good thing about what's happening with this situation. Anybody can call in right now and tell me what they think, because other than that, I'm gonna keep going about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we got Carla up here. We got Carla. Let me get Carla up here. What's up, Carla? Peace and love to you. Hey, how
What's
you
going
doing?
on?
So
Good.
what do you think about that scene on Marriage Bootcamp with Vado and Tahiry?
Well, for one, it was too much for TV. Um, I feel like it's never right to put his hands on a female, but in the public eye, that's way too much. That's over the top. It's extreme. She can be very vocal, very, very vocal, and she can come across very aggressive. And the way that she comes off, sometimes I really don't think she means harm, but the most important rule is it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah,
And sometimes she can come off very rude and very disrespectful. So as a man, his pride steps in front of that respect factor for a woman.
yeah,
So when his pride becomes over, his pride overthinks everything. So then he basically blacks out. And this woman who he respected at once is now a regular female on the street. So there's no respect factor now. So
yeah,
yes, he's going to overstep those boundaries because he's been tested.
yeah. Do you think that they naturally are doing that to each other?
Yes,
Like that
definitely.
like that's been going on. It seemed like it's been going on for a while.
And like you said, the way that she reacted, like she had no like emotion, like it was no fear, there was no like no flinch, it was nothing. It was like something she's used to. She had an instant reaction to block her face.
Hello, everyone.
And like he literally like tried to choke the hell out of her.
Oh yeah, he did that. He did choke her. He for
Yes.
sure. That was too sensitive for TV.
It,
But what's up, Kathy Jones? What's happening with
hey
you?
Cafe.
Hey, Carla. Listen, these people are not married. So it's not like you have to go through a divorce and get separated and all this other stuff. It's a simple relationship. Leave. But unfortunately, no one should ever put their hands on either one, a female, male, I don't care. As an
Right.
adult, don't put your hands on no one. Don't spit on anyone. Those are grounds for don't play with nobody like that. So for me, the history of Tahiri, as you guys remember, she dated Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Joe was saying how they used to go back and forth and stuff like that. So it seems she seems to like argument and fights and things like that.
Yeah.
So if that's the history, and now sorry, what you gonna say, Carla?
No. I was gonna agree with you because that's kind of how I feel. It's a little off topic, but that's how I feel about Shonda and how she was going through her stuff with Scrappy. And I'm like, it was kind of similar. They like drama. They like to
Mm-hmm.
be, it's like they're accustomed to being abused, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, like that's what they're accustomed to. That's what they're used to. So that's what they're gonna accept. They don't know anything different.
And just overall, it's so crazy that Joe Budden, out of all people, has gone out, become very successful. He talks about healing, he talks about therapy and all this stuff. Now he's seeing the positive of what's going on with his life. Meanwhile, Tahiri's still doing the same foolishness years later. You literally are on national television talking about you dating somebody that's this broke. Well, what does that say about you?
Mm. Yeah, I didn't get that. Why would she say that he broke and all this talk about him and stuff, but you still with this man? Like you still with this man. And it's like Tahiri love that type of stuff, and he love putting his hand on women. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see no right with doing what he did. Like we got a caller. I'm gonna let this call up. I don't know how to say her name. Ariella.
Ariella.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Ariella. How you
Aurelia.
doing?
Hey
But
guys.
no,
So
we letting you come in and do your justice. Come on.
okay. So I personally have been close with somebody who had a very similar relationship. I have a sister who was in about a 10-year very abusive relationship where her nose got broken, she got handcuffed to a toilet, all kinds of things happened. And it was just normal for her after so long that it was nothing. She would have a bloody nose and then she'd make him dinner. Like, it's just nothing. It's what Vado and Tahiry, kind of reminded me of.
Yeah,
I know
but
it was, there was no blood drawn, but she just seemed like it was another day, like nothing.
Right. Now, my question is now, in some people's defense, some, and I don't want to call it defense because I mean, I feel sorry for anybody who's being abused, but some people say they stay in these situations because they have no other family, they have nobody to fall on, they have nobody to call on, you know, they don't have nowhere to stay, you know, like, so, and my question basically is what's beneficial to Tahiry from Vado for her accepting all this abuse? Or like, you
Yeah.
know, for your sister in the instance, you know, I don't mean no disrespect, you know, I'm just, you know, just asking the
Yeah.
question, you know, like, you know, it's thing, you know, it's definitely things that we don't know. We definitely on the outside looking in. No money, no resources. So basically she just getting her ass beat for nothing.
Yeah. My
Basically.
sister, she came home from Houston because I live in Corpus Christi. It's like 4 hours away. She came home from Houston from her dudes like 5 separate times. My mom would buy her bus ticket. She had a place to stay, you
Right.
know, but it was just she missed him
Something
after
she was
like 4
accustomed
days.
to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was normal. Yeah. It was
That's
sad,
sad.
but yeah.
But
I
you
don't know
gotta,
about Tahiry, but
yeah,
Right.
it's like, why do women, certain women, they get with these guys, they either say, oh, it's because of his sex, that's why I'm still with him, but he up here beating you behind closed doors,
Right.
choking you walking outside, you gotta wear sunglasses bigger than your cheek because you scared
mhm.
to show your eyes and stuff to the public. Why are there relationships out there still like this? And it's going on and it's getting worse. It ain't getting no better. I see more guys nowadays beating girls up in public, like beating
Mhm.
their girlfriend up, and ain't nobody coming to the
And
defense.
nobody's stopping it.
God say,
Nobody's
yeah.
doing
Yeah,
nothing.
Now, one
yeah.
time, I ain't gonna lie to you, I seen a video on YouTube of there was a young couple, and it was like he took the girl like shirt off or something like that, and she had a bra on, and he was telling her, no, you ain't gonna leave. Like, I was like, man, it's abusive. A guy did step in, a little short, little Hispanic dude stepped in and said, man, that's not. He was Puerto Rican. He was like, that's not okay for you to be beating on her like that. Leave her alone, let her go. You know, and I was like, good job, good Samaritan. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Step in and intervene and tell him. He said, man, if you keep doing that, I'm going to either beat you up or call the police. He said I'm gonna call the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said, man, it take a lot of courage for somebody to call the police on somebody else who beating on a woman. But
Mhm.
textbook abusive stuff, like, you see the signs is there. Why would you tell a couple to keep staying with each other and encourage them to stay with each other? Because these people nowadays are not telling people, they're not getting counseling or anything. You know, like, so what y'all think about it? Tell me, keep
Listen,
telling.
no amount of counseling can ever deal with you beating on someone. What are we counseling for? We need to just separate and leave. As an adult, a lot of us know you do something, you are going to be held accountable. So, two things that are going to happen in this situation: either he's going to kill her or she's going to kill him. I'm not going to be in no relationship where I'm having to fight you, argue with you. When you come home, it's supposed to be peace in the home. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to jail because I'm trying to murder you or getting away from you. This is insane.
Yeah, never
Sometimes, like in
excuse.
my opinion, I think maybe mental illness might be a part of it. Like my sister's never been diagnosed with anything, but I feel like there's something more just because of her whole life, just different things that have occurred, and um, it's crazy, but I think it has to do with mental illness.
Yeah, it's more than just mental illness. It's just it's like a substance when you drink
Yeah,
too
it
much.
could be. It's yeah, definitely. It's an addiction. He has
Yeah,
an addiction to putting his hands on women.
yeah.
That is his mental illness. That
There's
very
never
well.
there's never excuse for domestic violence or abuse. If you're not getting on with someone, then don't be with them. I know, just walk away. Simple as that.
I'm
Right.
not
And then
even
on top of that, like you want to complain about it, but you're not holding him accountable for any of his actions.
Yep.
And you're
Or like you tell
staying
everybody, your whole family, and you go back.
right. But you go right
Like,
back to it. So like
Yeah,
it's really is there's no point. If you're gonna continue to stay there, don't complain about it.
yeah. I just don't like the fact that man hit women either. It's me personally. I ain't ever hit no woman a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't do that. It's just like, I don't see why. I'm powerful. You know what I'm saying? I once thought about going to do MMA fights and stuff, and I can hit hard. Like, I wouldn't ever put my hands like physically on no woman because I know what that could do to her heart, like her mental. You know what I'm saying? Like that breaks a woman down. And for me, I don't get it. Why do they go back though? Like when the one, I mean, you done got hit so many times. Why keep going back? You know what I'm saying?
And then,
What's that
like,
saying? Love will make you do crazy things.
but it's not. It can't be love. And actually, recently, because I don't really have with that sister. Actually, it's a really long story, but I haven't talked to her in a few years. And my mom talks to her pretty regularly. She told me about a week ago that her new dude broke her ribs, and she called my mom, wanted to come home, and then she was like, "No, never mind. I'm back on the road with him. He's a trucker."
Oh,
And this is a completely other guy.
oh no,
So
hey, that's
yeah,
not
it's,
good. That's not
so
good.
it's her. It's normal.
Yeah, that's not okay. But I got two callers down here, so I'm gonna drop two of y'all and bring up Queen Cascade and Love Aries. You know,
Okay,
so
I'll go.
all right, I got you, caller.
All right, bye guys.
I'm gonna drop you down. You stay in the backstage. I'll bring you back up. All right, here we go. Here we go. Queen Cascade and Love Aries. What's up?
Hello, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody in the chat as well.
Yes, good evening.
What y'all
I
think
wanted,
about this? The situation with Vado and Tahiry.
so I just had a story that I wanted to share quickly. Going back to what you were saying, Geo, about people being reluctant to help. There was this woman and this man, they were fighting in the city that I'm from, in Paterson, New Jersey. And there was one good Samaritan who jumped in and stopped this guy from beating on his girlfriend. And the guy, the boyfriend later came back and shot the guy and killed him. So I think that's the reason why a lot of people are reluctant to step in. And then you may be putting yourself in a situation where you're jumping to the aid of this woman, only for her to turn around and go right back to this guy, because it's not, the abuse isn't that something, it's not something that happens in a bubble. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow process, and it starts with the mental and the emotional and eventually builds up to the physical, them alienating you from your friends and your family and making you feel as if you don't have anyone that you can turn to. And like they're the only ones that you have in your life, just breaking down your spirit and just making you feel worthless, like almost as if I deserve this. And unfortunately, I put it in the chat, it's just people equate possession to love, and love is not supposed to be about possession. And if I have to beat on somebody and scare them into wanting to be with me, I don't want it. I don't want it.
It's real. What you think about that, Queen Cascade?
I want to actually go a little bit back. I know you're at this stage. For me, I use this as a counseling tool, this program. So going back, before they did the whole shock thing, Dr. Ish had given them each a piece of cardboard, and it had specific things on it where if the person did it, they were supposed to shock them. So from what I saw at the beginning, there was a lot of them that weren't following the instructions from the beginning, because Vado had said it at different points. I should have shocked you for this. I should have shocked you for that. But she wasn't listening to certain things. And she actually turned around and says, well, shock me. And then there was a situation with her and Will, what's his name? Shonda's man, where she said, continue with the process. But she stepped out of the process. They both weren't listening to each other, because the rolling the eyes, the getting up and walking away was on her card. There was other things that was on his card. So they both made mistakes. I agree with everybody in terms of the fact of it getting to physical violence. And do you get what I mean? I don't agree with it, but there were other things within the process that were going on as it being marriage boot camp. There's a whole heap of other things that are added into the process of what they're going through as couples. Each couple is at a different period of time in their relationship. So Willie and Shonda, they're married. Tahiry and Vado, they've got a history of being friends from when they were young, and they've come up together on the streets, and he's seen her and she's seen him in different relationships, and they've started dating within the last year or so or whatever. Do you get what I mean? So that's what I wanted to add into it. Not that I agree, just in terms of understanding about the program.
But it's like this, man. I seen that woman throw a pure apple at this man, like 2 apples. You know, and them some hard Granny Smiths is hard apples, like hard. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even trying to lie. Them, and I love them apples, but them apples is a hard apples. So I know he was hurt that she threw the apple, but it don't give him no right.
It doesn't equate to choking a
Has
person.
no right.
No, I don't agree with what he did. I don't agree.
It's like I'm a type of man like this. I don't care if a woman hit me. I just don't have the right to hit her back. I could take it. I'm a man. Women go through a lot of physical emotion, you know, like and you could traumatize a woman by doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like literally choking her, striking her. Bam. Women sometimes they either fall for it or they just don't fall for it. I want to understand, why don't they run away? You see what I'm saying? Why don't women run away when they see the signs? Why can't they run?
Well, I would have actually disagreed with you saying that Paul and Karine were similar to this whole situation, because of the fact that Karine doesn't seem like, you know, she's combative, but just like the young lady said, lovely, I can't see, lovely
Aries.
Oh, like lovely Aries said, that the relationship, there's things that are, you're getting something out of it, and like Carla said too, so you're getting something out of it. Unfortunately, with Karine, she's at the beckoning whim of Paul, idiot self. She doesn't have the financial means. She doesn't have a family there to help her and assist her. And like the other young lady said, or her sister, the mom was buying ticket buses for her to leave the guy. Unfortunately, Karine doesn't have none of that. So she would be someone, I would imagine that in a sense, she would stay around with Paul, even though she know that it's wrong and everything, but she has no resources.
See,
And that goes back to what I was saying before. Is Karine's definitely at a disadvantage because she doesn't speak the language, like you said before. She doesn't have any family, any friends, no support system. So she feels as if Paul is everything. And then from the video, him holding on to the visa and the baby's passport, and you're not taking my son back, and it's just a mess.
Even though he didn't physically touch her, that's abuse.
It is abuse. It's definitely emotional and mental abuse, and that is how the physical starts.
Yeah. Hey, Cappy Jones, I'm gonna drop you down real quick. I got somebody in the back trying to call up. Y'all can stay in the back for me. I'm gonna call you right back up. You know, I'm gonna let y'all back up.
I want to say something, because on the Paul and Karine, I'm not going to pretend that I know everything up to date in terms of what's happened. I know little bits, but for me, the concern where I see things is in regards to 90 Day Fiancé is when it comes to Angela and Michael, because of their extreme temperaments and the behavior. Do you get what I mean? In terms of the way that she just goes off. Do you get what I mean? The way that she can just bam, 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 bam. Don't get me wrong. If Ange ever this, Ange, I love you, got big respect for you. There's a whole heap of things that I understand where you're coming from. I get what you mean. But in terms of the conflict that's sometimes in there and the fact of Michael's personality, that's where my concern is in terms of that aspect of things, in comparison to, you know, seeing the fact of in a Marriage Bootcamp, Vado was hot. Vado was hot from before, and Phaedra brought it up and said Vado is hot under the collar. For me, in that situation, like I said, I don't agree with what Vado did. I don't agree with what Tahiry did, but really and truly they needed another doctor, whether it's Dr. V or the judge, because of all the different situations that were going on. And Dr. Ish is only one person. Do you get what I mean? Judge Lynn comes in at certain times. They used to have a married couple before, years ago, and then it became Dr. Ish and Dr. V, and now it's just Judge Lynn and Dr. Ish. So I feel like in terms of what was going on, they needed more support to be able to control the situations. Carry on.
No, I was just going. I'm welcoming Penny here. That was a good. That was a good
Hi. Hi,
conversation
Penny.
you had,
Hey,
Queen
Penny.
Cascade. Appreciate that. That feedback was real good. But what's up, Penny? How you doing? What you thinking?
I'm good. You know what? When it comes to abusive situations, I'm going to speak my story. I was married for literally like 3 years, and it didn't started with physical abuse. It started with verbal abuse. And when my ex realized that, guess what? He could not control everything physically because I'm quick with the mouth. And it didn't matter what he said. I was just much, had a much faster response. And whatever I said hit him to the core. And
Mm-hmm.
then literally one day, he literally punched me in the face. Like if he was punching a dude. I was
Thank you for the super chat,
literally
Gene.
taken.
I'm listening though. I just had
You're
to
saying
thank
something?
Gene for the super chat. I'm sorry though, I cut you off, but
It's
I
okay.
just had to thank one of my super chatters.
Okay. After being punched, I was taken by surprise. I was so shocked that, you know what, this man that I married and I loved would hit me in the face like a dude. In seconds, I'm like, the first thing I wanted to do was to react, to fight with him. But I'm like, you know what? No, I'm calling the cops. Literally in less than 5 minutes, the cops showed up, arrested him, and I'm in New York. And automatically, an order of protection was put in for 3 months. And literally, that's how we broke up. But it doesn't, you know what? When you're being hit or abused, it doesn't, as much as I call the cops, you go through this mental pain, anguish, hurt, because you try to rationalize in your head, why would this person that I love, that's supposed to care about me, will put their hands on me? It doesn't stop. You know what? It doesn't stop, you know what, the mental anguish that you go through. I am not making excuses for other women that run back to the dude and whatever. No, I'm not making excuses for that. But what I'm saying is that what I did, I went into therapy right away. And literally, the whole, should I say, the whole game of literally finding a good therapist was a job within itself. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me literally 3 years in order to get all of that hatred, that anger, that anguish out of my system. It's not something that you literally just walk in and said, you know what, I'm out, do this. You see that on Hollywood movies, or you see it on, TV show, but it's a lot more attached to it. And that young lady, the mere fact when that fella grabbed her up and did whatever, the way she reacted, she is used to being abused. This is not no first time. No. Mm-mm. She just acted as though it was normal. And I'm like, mm-mm,
Mm-hmm.
something is not right with that. So that is my story.
Thank you for expressing your thoughts. You know, Penny, we appreciate you. We love you. We care for you over here. We ain't them type of people that you dealt with before, but you got all our respect over here. We gonna give you all the respect over here and the prayer for you to get through what you're getting through. I'm happy you got away from that situation because a lot of women out here, they don't want to get away from that situation, and I don't know why, but it makes it look
But hold
bad,
up, hold up.
man.
I need to make another point. You know what is the hardest thing to even endure? To hear other women. You know what? I'll give you an example. I had a very close friend of mine. When I called her and I told her what happened, she said to me, well, why did you call the cops on him? You know how hard it is for a black man to find a job. I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. No, literally. Guess what? That's what ended our friendship. You you have women, older women, just women that would not support other women. And I think that is a major, major problem. Because if you're a friend of mine and you told me some dude hit you, I'm over there in 0.2 seconds. Like, what is the problem? It becomes as though you hit me. That's how I literally roll. Sorry.
That's real. No, that's real though. Preacher Penny, you telling the truth.
Preach.
That's what needs to go on. I don't see a lot of women out here sticking with each other. You know what I'm saying? They kind of separate and go with their man. Sometimes you need that sisterhood. Sisterhood is a strong thing, you know. And I know because I came up around a lot of aunties. I lost an auntie, and she would my auntie Pam. I seen her beat a man up. He must have slapped her or something. You know what I'm saying? In the house. I was young. I was like 13. He's pap. My auntie beat him up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, what kind of auntie do I get? He running out the house. You know what I'm saying? He trying to grab stuff. I said, man, I don't know what is this, but this is different. You know, like I ain't ever seen a woman beat a man because a man want to try to be hard. You know what I'm saying? So the women need to start standing up more and actually coming forth and speaking about this. You know, we appreciate your story that you coming forth and telling us what's going on, because I know it still messes with you a little bit. It's traumatizing. You know?
Not yes and no, but not to the effect that it did some years ago.
Yeah.
You know, the thing was,
You're a
for
survivor.
me is that I literally cut everyone. If you weren't you know what? If you weren't a certain type of individual, I cut you off. Cut. I cut everyone off. Shut it down, change my number, and I'm like, I'm starting over fresh, clean. It's either you for me or you against me. End the story. And that's what I did. And to be quite honest, it's been the best thing for me. And therapy.
Yep. And you more happier sometime by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes all you need is self and to love yourself. But Penny, I'm gonna drop you. I gotta bring up my boy
That's
here.
fine.
Just
That's fine.
stay
I
in the
just wanted to
background
share
for
my
me and
story.
come back up. Try to fix your connection a little bit because your screen kind of moving and sometimes you was going in and out. You know, but
Oh,
we
I'm
heard
sorry.
everything
I'm on
you
my
said.
cell
Trust
phone.
me. Our prayers are
I'm on
with you.
my cell phone, sorry.
Okay.
You're a survivor, Penny.
You're doing it, girl. You're doing the damn
Yep.
thing.
We're gonna see you in a minute though. So stay
No
backstage for it.
problem.
Please do.
No problem.
Geo,
Okay,
how
let's
do you want to go into this? Because there's history there in terms of, hey D, Wagwan. There's history there in terms of the generations and the cycles of things that have existed in the past. We can't pretend like women's rights and all those things have come up within the last 50 years. Up until then, a lot of women were possessions. We were possessions. So we have to look at the generation and the cycles of this that have happened and where we are at this point in time and continuing to make the steps forward. The cycles are there. We're the ones that need to be making ourselves aware of it and stopping it. And in regards to things like counseling, Cafe, I love you, but I don't agree with the whole thing that about, on the counseling. I think counseling is a wonderful tool. We have to stop pretending that we know everything in life. Do you get what I mean? Even
Yeah.
myself, I'm great at counseling other people's lives, but when it came to my own life, I needed help. I had to go and get counseling. So whether it's marriage counseling, relationship counseling, life coaching, if you need that help at different parts of your life, go and get the help that you need. I know it takes time. And part of the problem with the system is there isn't enough funding. We don't have enough counselors. And the length of times that people are on waiting lists, people can be on waiting lists for a year, 2 years, 5 years. And in between that, they've got all that trauma. D, jump in.
No, I feel you. I feel you. As far as counseling thing, what you were talking about, it's easier to counsel somebody. It's easy to look from the outside looking in to somebody. You know what I mean? I'm the same way. I could fix other people better than I could fix myself. And I don't really watch, or I don't really know nothing about. I don't even remember the name of the show. Marriage Bootcamp. There you go. So the characters or people on the show or whatever, I don't know who you talk about. But as far as domestic violence goes, this is an ongoing issue throughout the world. It's not just this country or any other countries. It's a problem. It needs to be dealt with. I'm here to listen, for real. I'm not here to talk much. I'm being real. Geo, I know I usually come with jokes. You know, this is no joking matter. It's not. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we hear you.
You can speak up a little bit. I can't hear you because of the computer.
I got you. I'm not trying to be loud and everything because I was loud all last night. On the phone until early morning. But nah, I don't even know what to say about some of these men. You don't put your hands on a woman, period. You know, that and if there's kids involved, that's a mother kid. Ooh, trying not to hurt. What's the matter? Come on now. You know, there's very little I could say because lovely Aries, you spoke on what I wanted to say. Queen, you did too. Penny's story was heart-wrenching, but it's the truth. It really is. You know what I mean? And people need to listen. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, but D Brooklyn, I'm gonna drop you, my brother. I'm gonna drop y'all and bring up a new
Yeah.
my old cast that was up here earlier. You know, I'm gonna bring
No
them back up.
problem.
Y'all just stay backstage for me, and I'm gonna let y'all come in and close out with which words you gotta say. You know, I'm gonna let
Yeah.
y'all go real quick. Let me see in a minute.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, let's bring back up Carla, Cafe Jones, Aurelia. So yeah, what y'all thinking? Let me
I
know.
definitely want to chime in on what Queen said because that is very, 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 very true. Very, very important. I need people to understand this generational difference that we are occurring right now. What they did back in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, they had to stay with that man that provided for their house, regardless if he beat the hell out of them. That's what they did because that man took care of the home. They didn't care about that. They wanted to make sure that that home was taken care of and that their kids were taken care of. Period. Anything else didn't matter. Now it's a little bit different because we seen that we think that it's okay, but now it's a little bit different because now instead of the guys providing and making sure that things are taken care of, they want the woman to do that, and then they still want to beat the woman just because, and with the dude, it's an insecurity issue. It's once again, I go back to this pride thing. Any man that sees a woman making any more money than them, it hits a pride thing because a man is supposed to protect, provide, and make sure that the household is stable. His wife and his kids are taken care of.
Yeah, Carla, I don't mean to cut you off. You got an echo going on, I think, in your background.
Nope, not me. I'm not on YouTube.
No, is it a TV on in the background? Oh that's my phone. I don't know what's wrong with my phone. It's like a ghost in it or something. But is there a TV on in your background? Do anybody got a TV on in their background?
No,
I don't. There's thunder in my background. I'm in my bathroom to try to get away from the thunder.
That's probably what it is. You being inspired from that echo. It's okay. But keep going, Carla. Let me hear what else you was about to say. I ain't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I'm just saying, this generational thing is definitely a difference. It's not the same. And again, my heart goes out to Penny, but when she, kind of referred to her friend's story, I kind of understood, what she was saying because that generation's different. That's how it was back then. Now it's a completely different story. It's way different. So we can't really compare her ish. I mean, you can, but in a different sense because it happened, a long time ago. So her story is different from ours, the age difference,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see.
My sister, sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Don't
My
mind me on talk.
is about 37, and she was in the relationship with the first guy who broke her nose from when she was 15 till she was about 20, like 5. And now, like, you know, she's moved on since. At one point she was actually married to like a really good guy, but she was only married to him because he had a good job and stuff, and she was like, she wasn't really with him because of his personality, you know. And then once he divorced her, she went back to like dudes who beat her. I don't know what she has to gain from them, but it's just her lifestyle, and she's had 6 kids taken away from her, and it's like really sad.
Mm.
And you know, you can't try to understand something that is not fathomable, you know, like how can we understand that? It's not normal to us, so how can we really understand? Is it for us to understand, you know?
Right.
All right. I think I'm done.
I'd like to send my love to Queen.
Aurelia, can you mute yourself real quick? I think that's coming.
Yeah.
The echo is coming from
Yeah.
your screen. Okay, Captain Jones, we can hear you now.
Okay, Queen, you know I love you, and I love the fact that Geo always opens up the platform so everyone can have open discussion. And of course, if you know anyone disagrees with anything that someone says, you are supposed to bring it up so that we all have a different of opinion and can understand one another, because everyone has a different walk of life.
Of course.
Once Queen and Miss Penny was able to, you know, pour her heart out and, you know, share something with us, that allowed me to understand what I actually said, that I'm like reflecting. I'm like, well, actually, I was definitely wrong with that. Having the idea where I was like, well, you know, forget the therapy, just leave. Whereas Penny, she left and made sure she sought out therapy, where that healing, it wasn't just, okay, I'm gonna leave and cut everybody off. I needed to vent it out. I needed to talk it through and make sure that I understand that it was never her fault or anything that she ever did that would ever allow someone to do something like that. So for me, like I said, Queen, definitely love you. Love the idea of us having open dialogue so that, hey, I learned something new and I'm like, wow, I definitely should have not just said leave. There's a healing process behind it that the person should have.
A couple of things, Gio. This goes back to what we talked about a while ago about, you know, how men and women got to start thinking more as partners versus who is doing who prepared for who. So in regards to what Carla said, there's still too many people thinking that a marriage or a relationship is a competition and not a partnership of a person you're going with. And I feel that more people should be that like-minded, so they won't have, you know, guys won't have to worry about getting their ego hurt, or even just because their partner's making more money. It should always be a partnership. It should never be stray away from that. And one last thing, people need to find more positive outlets in regard to when they're in, to get them out of a positive way out of negativity and toxic situations. And nobody can really, the counseling is fine, but there's always a popular saying, those who help themselves, other people are more in tune to help them even more than they're helping themselves. So if these people need to start looking at themselves first and ask themselves if it's really worth it to be in this toxic situation, and then don't be like Queen said, don't be scared of counseling, but make sure you do everything you can for yourself to get yourself out of that situation, and then worry about the wind down of counseling and stuff to get you out of that, you know, to get your mind out of that situation you took yourself out of.
Yeah, I agree with you, my boy Dez. I love your input. You got good input. But I would say it's the same thing what you were saying. That's why I said earlier, you got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Like when you take a journey on actually being by yourself for a full year, just learn yourself. Like you start to learn little traits about you that you love. And so when you do want to get into a relationship, you ain't just going to jump into anything. You ain't going to just sleep in the bed with anybody. You're going to actually, for a man, the woman, I was told a woman will find you, the good woman will find you. You know what I'm saying? But that's not always true. Necessarily, that's not always true, because I was found before, but there wasn't the one for me. You know what I'm saying? But and I got found again, and I was found good. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm good. But
sorry to cut you off, but in tune to what you just said, Gio, there's a popular saying that I always go by: when one door closes, another one opens. So you may find something that's smooth, that seems like the right person, but sometimes it may not be the right person. And you just gotta keep opening those doors that open after you break off that situation. So you can't look at it as, oh, this person I thought was for me, but I guess it didn't work. I didn't give up. You gotta keep seeking and searching, and then you'll find another door for another person that is more in tune to what you're looking for. That's my take on it. So
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all get y'all last final words that y'all gotta say. Is there any final words anybody want to go first? Because I'm gonna let the other three come back up and say their final words, and I'm gonna wrap it up.
I do want to say this one thing real quickly. You know, as I'm reflecting on everybody's stories, you know, as I'm listening, and you know, as I'm reflecting on some of my old things, you know, I happened to was watching a Tyler Perry play today, and his main thing in the play was forgiveness. And I think that's where a lot of people have an issue, is they don't forgive.
Mm.
And it causes a lot of issues. So when you don't forgive, you take those burdens and you place them on the next person. So now that person is left to clean up and fix those burdens that was caused by somebody else because you didn't forgive them for what they did to you. So I think that could very well be a issue to a lot of the things, especially with Vado putting his hands on Tahiry. It could have been some issues, some family issues, you know, and as vice versa for her as well. It could be things within her that she didn't forgive somebody for, and she's taking it out on him because he reminds her of those things that she may have went through. And for anybody with, you know, any type of issues. So I just wanted to leave with that. And for Cafe, your husband, when he said, when one door closed, another one open, miss one bus, next 15, one coming. Period.
That's real.
Peace, love, and chicken grease, y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Peace and love, brother. Peace and love. Thank you for coming through.
So I just wanted to say that, Geo, you had a point when you said bouncing like from relationship to relationship and not really taking time to yourself, because my sister's never been single. She's always went from one to another. So I didn't even think about that till you said that, but I just wanted to leave with that.
Okay, that's all you got to say. Oh, thank you for. If you got anything else to say, you better do it right now.
I have a lot. Yeah, it's too much like to go into right now. So, but you just brought that point out, and I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you for calling in, Aurelia.
Bye,
Nice
guys.
to meet you. Call in next Saturday. Peace and love.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
All right, Nerd, and Desert Doctor.
Well, you know, as usual, we definitely enjoy. You definitely have a wide range of topics. You go from 90 days, and we laughing and joking about foolishness, and now to be able to discuss something very, very serious. I've personally never been affected by something like this, and I don't know anyone like that. So my heart goes out to anyone and allowing us to have a discussion, so people like Penny can actually discuss, hey, I've been through this and these are the steps that I did so that I can get out of this. That allows us all to know, okay, these are the signs. Make sure that you're there to support someone, and making sure that you don't say, ridiculous things when the person's trying to heal. So again, just thank you so much. Your platform is awesome, and can't wait till next week.
Yes, thank y'all. Thank you, Des and Cafe Jones. Y'all the best. You hear me? Come back. Peace and love. God bless. All right. Let's bring back the trio. I'm just messing. What's y'all final words on this topic tonight? And what y'all think should be the outcome for people out there that's hearing us talk about these domestic relationships?
Carla was on point. I love what Des had to say with the open up the doors and everything. It's true. It's true. And with Penny's story opens up another door for the next woman to be able to speak about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She has no idea what she did. Maybe she does. I hope she realizes what she did for the next one. When women go through things, men go through things. And got to be open to listen.
She opened up a lot of women ears out there. I tell you that.
Yeah.
You ain't lying. You ain't ever lying.
And that's all I'm here for is listen. You know, I like I said before, I'm not trying to talk that much. You know, because any man willing to lay a hand on a woman. Ooh, almost said something. You know what I'm about to say.
Don't say it though. Don't.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Do it.
I'll see you tonight on Sherelle's Love After Lockup. What is it? 10, 7?
7 o'clock.
10 on the east, 7 on the west.
Pacific Standard Time. Tune in, Brooklyn. Make sure you tune in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your platform on how you get serious.
Oh yeah, I can get
You're
serious.
A real dude. You're a real dude.
We talk about stuff like this, I gotta get serious. But you know, I'm gonna slide a little something in there sometimes to just keep the energy up. Smile a little bit, you know.
Gotta break up the monotony.
All right, my buddy Brooklyn, man, I'm gonna get at you, my brother. Peace and love. Hit me up after this.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. All right, is there any last words one of y'all ladies would like to grab a flow and speak on this topic, you know, before I let y'all go on by your day?
I just want to say that you have a really great show going on here, and that you're using your platform for something positive, and we need more of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to uplift the people.
I mean, it's cool to talk about, you know, the 90 Day and the Love and Lockup and all of the other reality shows, and it's great to have those things as a release from some of the things that are going on in reality. But every once in a while, this is good to be able to have this, to talk about the serious topics that need to be talked about. So thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. It's become. I got mine full of stuff. Hold on, what didn't happen in here? Oh, what didn't happen? Did y'all see me leave real quick? I ain't mean to cut off, but thank you for sharing your advice about my platform. I really appreciate it because I got more topics that's gonna come. That's gonna be serious topics, you know. Thank you for that, Marty C, for that super chat. But I love the fact that I can keep people in tuned into stuff that's really going on in the world. See that's I'm not trying to make people fade off into la la land. I want to bring you back to reality, you know. And these are things that we're dealing with, the matters at hand. That's what's going on inside of homes and outside of homes. You know, and the people who somehow have authority in you, like police officers, firefighters. You know, a lot of people go through these things, but nobody never wants to really talk about it and get deep down into the debate them, you know, of what's really going on. But lovely Aries, peace and love, and God bless you, you know, on your journey. I hope you tune in next Saturday too, you know.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming through, and thank you for the compliments. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Nice to meet you, lovely Aries star.
Okay, Queen Cascade, I gave you the flow. There you go. You got the flow.
In regards to Cafe and her husband, I love you guys. I respect you guys. You know what I mean? I'm open to everybody's opinions, whether I agree with them or not. We're all learning. We're all growing. I agree with you, Des, on what you were saying about God. Well, in my terms, it's God helps those who helps themselves. So when we see that we have certain issues, we have to take a step back and learn to deal with those issues before we go into relationships. This, for me, is like, in terms of domestic violence, it's one of my areas in terms of the work that I do in the community and in terms of my artwork exhibiting. So domestic violence all over the world, it's disgusting. It's really, really high. And I'm hoping that this continues to make everybody aware about what's going on in the world. And in regards to Tahiry and the situation, she's been through domestic violent relationships before. I'm hoping that in the fact that it's been recorded, that she'll be able to look at the situation and see it for what it is. Do you get what I mean? And that Vado also learns about his behavior. For me, counseling comes in a different aspects, different types of counseling. There's different types of therapy. I want people to sort of open up to the fact of there's different kinds of, every therapy isn't going to be the right therapy for you. You're going to have to go out there and find the therapy that's necessary for you to be able to move forward. And that may take some time, but the journey is worth it because you yourself are worth it. I want to tell everybody in the chat, you're beautiful. You guys are lovely. Whatever you're going through, whether it's the pandemic or, you know, domestic violence, or you're seeing things, or you're going through things, you are worth it. We need to continue to have these conversations so that we can help heal each other and continue to grow and be positive and get out of the cycles, like Carla said, that existed. We have the chance now, thinking about in 50 years' time, looking back on this time, to really do something pivotal. Not saying that what we didn't do in the past wasn't pivotal, because the past has an effect on the present. Do you get what I mean? Which leads to our future. But on our individual journeys and our journeys as a community, positivity, peace, love, and prayers to everybody.
Yes, thank you, Queen, so much. I love your insight. You know, you're an enlightful person. You come through and tell the truth, but I'm gonna let you go. Peace and love, and God bless you. Come back next time. You know the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody, there you go. I brought up the topic about what's going on with the women. You know, and I don't think that women needs to be putting themselves through these abusive situations. Even man, don't put yourself in the position to be abused. You know, just for anybody out there who's going through a relationship problem, sometimes it's best to get away and love yourself first. You know, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Seek help. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe and like the channel. Hit that notification button and stay notified when I'm gonna go live. You know, so y'all can come in here and get y'all thoughts. For the people who scared to jump on the camera, it ain't nothing but a camera. You just gonna barely be on here. You could either block yourself out and just talk. Just come up here and give your opinions on the topics that we talk about, because it's a lot of more serious topics that's about to be coming soon. I'm about to get up out of here. I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm gonna know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where the door at, but the door over there for y'all. So peace and love, and God bless everybody out there. Thanks for coming through.